Did you know that there are lies told by the cinema over the years that you still believe today? Often, films use tricks, effects, and cliches to create scenes that are more thrilling, dramatic, or comical. But do you know what the biggest lies are that the movies tell us? Today is the day for you to find out what they are. So stay with me until the end, and let's discover the biggest lies that the movies have ever told you. Who doesn't love a good fight scene in a packed bar where the characters get embroiled in a chaotic mess, throwing bottles, chairs, and punches everywhere? The truth is, the reality of conflict situations in public places is quite different from what the movies portray. This is because people have different reactions to a fight depending on their personality, their mood, and their relationship with those involved. Some might attempt to break up the fight, others might stand by watching and filming, or some might leave the scene or even call the police. Moreover, bar brawls are usually quick and violent, not long and enjoyable. Individuals could severely injure themselves with sharp objects or even die. Of course, brawls can lead to legal consequences for both the perpetrators and the victims. So if you engage in a bar brawl, you're likely to end up with a few bruises, a couple of lawsuits, and some foes. That's not cool, is it? Ever seen a scene where a desperate character steals clothes from a clothesline or locker room? And mysteriously, they fit perfectly. It seems nearly magical, but can it happen in real life? Well, I've got some bad news for you. It can't. This scene has been portrayed in movies like Mr. Bean's Holiday. But the truth is, the odds of finding clothes that fit are quite low. This is due to people being different in body sizes and shapes, and clothes drastically varying based on the style, fabric, and cut. So if you try to shoplift clothes, you might end up with something too big or too small for you. And this can hinder you if you need to make a quick exit or disguise yourself. And remember, it's a crime. The iconic scene where the character jumps from a great height into the water, surviving without a single scratch. Who hasn't seen this in movies like Fast and Furious 007 and Titanic? Well, the reality is that falling into water from a great height can be as lethal as falling onto concrete. Why? Water has high resistance and low compressibility. That is, when you plunge into water, you meet a tremendous force that can break your bones, puncture your organs, and cause internal bleeding. Besides, water can fill your lungs and drown you. The maximum height a human can fall into water and survive depends on several factors such as body position, speed of the fall, depth, and water temperature. But it's estimated that above 50 feet, survival chances are very low. What about those adrenaline-fueled action scenes where characters nonchalantly walk away from explosions unscathed? Casually strolling away from an explosion wouldn't just require bravery, it would also necessitate defying the laws of physics. People cannot remain standing when a bomb goes off because the rapid gas expansion and pressure change result in a forceful blast of wind. According to the US Department of Homeland Security, you need to be at least 365 feet away from a homemade bomb explosion to avoid potential death. That safe distance doubles if a car or van is packed with explosives, and these are merely estimates. In conclusion, the truth is that escaping explosions without a scratch is essentially impossible. Here's the mystery that leaves us breathless. How do movie characters manage to save someone who's falling without a parachute? You can probably picture the scene. An electrifying sequence on a plane ends with one of the characters being thrown out. The problem, they don't have a parachute, but that's okay, right? You can just jump out with a lifeguard? Wrong. Saving someone who's falling without a parachute is nearly impossible. The physics involved in free falls is very complex and challenging. To give you an idea, if someone weighing 85 kilograms fell from a plane 3.6 kilometers high, the rescuer would have a maximum of 10 seconds to jump after them. Skydiving instructor Roberto Schleifer says that even if the hero reached them, it would be impossible to hold on. The person would be traveling 200 kilometers per hour when the strong jolt of the parachute opening hit them. Another lie often used in films and on television is that all it takes is one shot, one hit, or one spark to cause a gigantic fireball in a car. Movies like Fast and Furious and Transformers are prime examples of this. I hate to break it to you, but cars don't explode as easily as they do in the movies. For a massive explosion to occur, there needs to be a combination of sparks, oxygen, and gasoline in a gaseous state, which is not as easy to achieve after an accident, as it's not often that a tank ruptures following a crash. So if you shoot or hit a car, you're not going to cause an immediate explosion. You'd simply puncture or dent the fuel tank, releasing some liquid or steam. A cloth soaked in chloroform is placed on the face in a manner that's very convenient for scriptwriters to quickly remove a character from a scene. Maybe a bit too convenient. In reality, chloroform does not have a rapid and effective effect like in the movies. This is because chloroform is a chemical that needs to enter the body to induce a sleep effect. Chloroform interferes with the brain, reducing its activity and the sensation of pain. However, for this to work, the person would have to inhale the substance for a certain period of time and in a sufficient amount. It would take between 2 to 5 minutes and a significant amount of chloroform for it to work. This also depends on whether the person can resist or detect the strong smell of chloroform. When it comes to defusing bombs, movies make us think it's a simple and quick task. Just cut the right wire or enter the correct code at the last second and the bomb is diffused and everyone is saved. This is very common in movies where the characters need to defuse bombs before they explode and cause a tragedy. But know that defusing bombs is a complex and risky activity that requires a lot of technical knowledge and hands-on experience. Bombs are explosive devices that can be detonated by various mechanisms like timers, sensors, remote controls, or cell phones. Each type of bomb has a unique electrical circuit that could vary according to the model, manufacturer, or user's configuration. Furthermore, bombs might have security measures or traps that can detonate the bomb if someone tries to disarm it. Therefore, don't be misled by the movies. Defusing bombs is not an easy and quick task that can be accomplished by just anyone in any circumstance. Now tell me, which of these untruths we've shared here did you believe until today? Let us know. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end.